Hey, good evening, Lebanon. It's John Tice. And I don't know what you do in your spare time, but I'm here with a crew of kids. These are all local high school students, right? Yep. Right. And I came to their little clubhouse tonight because this is the meet the Krypton Cougars. Give us, what's 25? 39! There we go. So I learned their cheer just a minute ago, but this is team 2539. They're based in Palmyra, and we've got a few medals here on the table because they just came back from a world championship, and we're one of the members. It's kind of like Survivor. You've got your alliances out there. So we had the first place alliance and the second place alliance, four teams in each alliance. And this is the part of the number two alliance from the World Championship. So congratulations. And this was First Robotics Competition. So you can see that up here on the wall. I don't know if you followed this at all. I know I've been posting their videos for some time, but here's their little friend, and what do you call it?
Did we ever name it?
Tarzan and Shane.
What is it?
Tarzan and Shane.
Okay, so Tarzan and Shane. I like it. That's terrific. So Tarzan and Shane, and that is the award-winning robot. Now here on the table, you're going to see there's some awards. I'm just going to give a little background, guys, so I'll give you a chance to jump in here. But the awards on the table are all 2022 awards. And one of the cool things, they've taken the Innovation in Design Award 3 different times at 3 different competitions, including the World Championship that they just attended. So congratulations again. And the story gets cooler and cooler. So I'm going to introduce my cousin, the reason I learned about some of these things. That's Joe Wolfley. And many of you remember Joe from Lebanon Pattern Shop fame in Lebanon, PA. Well, it's my cousin, so he's one of the mentors. You're the what?
I'm one of the lead mentors. We have 2 lead mentors, me and Dave Walker.
So you're not like the engineering guy?
Yes, I'm in charge of the mechanical part of the
There you go.
robot. I know nothing about programming. I know a little bit about electrical. So the kids and the programming mentor handle all the programming. I do mechanical, and I can talk about electrical, but that's about it.
So give me an idea, the range of students that we have here. What schools do we represent?
Mostly Palmyra and Hershey this year. I think all the students are from there. We have the youngest, we had a 6th grader. He's not here tonight, but we have freshmen up to seniors. We have 3 graduating seniors this year from Palmyra.
Where are the seniors? There we go.
Can I give you some background on the team?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the team has been in existence for 15 years. Our number is 2539. 2,539. They currently are up into the 8,000s with teams. However, teams have dropped out. So with the dropouts and everything, there's over 4,000 First Robotics teams internationally, and it whittled it down to 450 teams that went to the Houston World Championships this year. We are part of the 1st Mid-Atlantic District, which is Eastern Pennsylvania, all of New Jersey, and all of Delaware. There's 128 teams in that district. We go to district competitions where we won that middle blue banner, the Hatboro Horsham event, and then we finished 2nd at our 2nd competition. So we accumulate points throughout the year. So we accumulated points at our district events, and we qualified. We were what, sitting third or 4th in the district points. They take the top 60 of those 128 teams, go to the district championships at Lehigh University. There we came in 3rd. We had a battle.
On.
We battled with the 1st and 2nd place, number 1 and number 2, but in the end we came in 3rd, which gave us enough points to send the top 20 teams to Houston. So there we joined a total of 450 teams from around the world to play for a week worth of competition. Qualifying events, there were 450 teams divided into 6 divisions of 75 each. We were on the touring division, and we won the touring division. We qualified 14th. We got picked by the #1 alliance captain. What they do, they have qualifications, so 75 teams qualified. You're ranked from 1 to 75. We ranked 14th. The top 8 qualifiers become the captains. They choose other teams to be on their alliance in a serpentine event, and we got picked by the #1 alliance. We won the touring division. So they then take the 6 division winners and they put them on what's called the Einstein field, where you play. So there's 6 teams now, 6 alliances on the Einstein field. We happened to win the round robin tournament. They took the best 2. We were first, another team was second. And members of our alliance were from California, Israel, and Maryland, and us from Pennsylvania. So the 2 best teams from that round, alliances from that round robin competition, got to play in the Einstein finals, best out of 3, and we won 1, but we lost 2, so we're the 2nd best alliance in the world, part of the 2nd best alliance. So
congratulations, guys. And it's been a long journey. How many months has this been going on now for this year's competition?
Since January.
Okay.
The first Saturday in January, the first organization presents the game for this year. Until then, it's a secret. So they present a game, and then you have roughly 6 or 7 weeks to design and totally build your robot. So we basically built that in 7 weeks period of time. You know, using our skills and experience from other years,
And parts from other years?
No, not really. It's all brand new.
Oh.
Pretty much all brand new, but our knowledge on how to build a climber, how to build an intake, how to build a drive base, that was all from other years, but we put it all together to play this year's game. And so then we go to there's different week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 competitions. This year we chose a week 1 and a week 4, and that's where week 1 we won the middle blue banner. The previous blue banner, that was our first blue banner in our 15-year history, was 2021. That was a COVID year, so it's an at-home challenge. It was like a obstacle course and different functions the robot had to do, but we had never won a blue banner prior to that in 14-year history. But now we have 3 of them hanging on our wall, so we're very proud of that.
So how has your program grown in the last 15 years? You went to go from 2 kids up to 20, or what? How have you seen it?
I guess we started out smaller. I've only been around for 5, and since I've been here, it's been roughly 20 to 25 kids that that show up and participate. Some years there's more interest than others. We can start out strong at the beginning of the school year with a lot of freshmen, but some of them tends to dwindle off. And as we've done better the last few years, I think we've picked up gotten more recognition and gotten more students. Because I lived in Palmyra now for like 30 years, and I didn't know about this team till 5 years ago. So, of course, it didn't exist 30 years ago, but yeah.
Let's talk to some of the real workers here, and then I'll have you introduce your staff, and we'll or your mentors team. So we'll start with the seniors. That seems fair.
So this is Rena. She's our drive coach. She coaches the drive team during competitions. She also does a lot of public stuff. She likes to talk. She gets us.
She likes to hide. Come on,
Yes.
you likes to talk.
She sings. She's a wonderful singer, like your wife is. She has sung the national anthem at a couple competitions, and she's wonderful.
All right, guys. So you're all from Palmyra School,
Yes.
and how? Yeah. So everybody. Okay. Who's here from Palmyra? Who are my Palmyra students? And then we have Hershey students. Is it Milton Hershey or Hershey's?
Hershey High School.
Hershey
Not-
High School.
Not everyone from Hershey's here at the moment, but we have some more people.
Okay. So 1 year on the team. 2 years. Okay, we're going to run out of choices here. 2, 3 years that you've been a member? Okay, 4 years? No way. 5 years. Good man. 6?
Nope.
We got the winner here in the middle. Well, good job.
Well, Quinn, how many years would you say
I'd say 3.
officially? Yes, officially.
So tell me, what initially drew you to this team? What's up with that?
For me personally, for everyone it's different.
Well, sure.
Some people, we do a lot of outreach programs at the high school at freshman geared events, such as our freshman club orientation that we do, which is where all the clubs in the Palmyra High School, they get representatives from each club, STEM, us, the marching band, the theater club, that kind of stuff. And we do try to reach out during that. We bring one of our robots and we try to reach out to freshmen, and I feel like that's how we got a bunch of our freshmen. That's kind of how I joined the team. I had a friend who was on the team who was a junior at the time, and she got me interested in the team, and she said you should totally come on by, and I did, and I loved it. And
So which part of the team are you on? Are you on the construction, the programming?
I'm head electrical and mechanical, so that means I focus mainly on electrical, but mechanical, building, fabricating, and then I did all of the wiring on the robot. And then on the drive team, I'm also technician.
Okay, so where did that come from? Have you been rewiring like stuff since you were younger?
No, actually, I came onto the team with zero knowledge of any programming, mechanical, CAD, literally anything, and I learned everything that I need to know just in the 4 years. And then I really stayed with it, stuck with it over the off season. That's when we do most of our training and our learning, because we're not busy building a robot. And over the off seasons, I stuck with it, and I stuck with electrical, and now I'm head electrical.
So just to give everyone an idea of what this robot does, there's a playing field here. And how big is it, guys? 30 by 60? Okay, about 30 by 60. There's going to be red and blue balls. They're like large tennis balls all over the field. There we go. Show and tell. Thank you so much. Robot's going to go along, scoop up either a red or blue ball, depending on the alliance that they're in, and then it's going to shoot it into a funnel in the center, kind of like if you can picture the game on most playgrounds where you put the ball in the funnel and it can come out one of 4 arms. That's exactly what we're looking at. And of course, the idea was picking up balls and scoring and so forth. But they've taken in. Where'd it go? There we go. So the team has taken the Innovation Award 3 times in just the last couple months at different competitions. So who's behind the targeting system? Because y'all.
I can explain it for sure.
There we go. So the targeting system is super fun because it recognizes the color of a ball, wherever it is on the field, and then it's autonomously going to drive the unit to pick up that ball.
Yeah.
Which, anybody else do this?
We actually, at the district championship, we had the judges tell us that they came up afterwards and they said, I don't think anyone else here did anything like that. That's pretty much what they said.
Yeah.
It really stuck out to people because the way we did this is kind of an up-and-coming trend in this community, but we haven't seen anyone at our competitions having done it so far.
Well, kudos to you because it's got to be, like the Elon Musk of the robot group here. He's got the self-driving cars. He's leading the edge in that whole area, and so now you've got the self-driving robots. Got to be a lot more efficient for the driver. And I understand you're our driver. Is that correct? And tell us your name.
I'm Kieran.
Kieran. So you got a big background in video games, or what brought you to this and to be the driver? Your years of experience on the team, or are you the?
So in the past, I was like a programmer.
Okay.
And eventually, I became the operator, like the second driver. And eventually, we got here, and I became the driver.
Uh-huh.
He's also on the esports team.
Okay, now that makes a lot of sense because you hand me a joystick and I'm in trouble. I already have too many thumbs. But I'm so impressed by all of you. Who else has a specialty area that you've been working on here? I got the full recorded tour from
Weaver.
From Weaver. So I'm going to play that at a separate time because it's very cool. what's been built into this robot and what its abilities are. What are the other teams? So we've got programming represented here. Where's construction? All right, guys, what can you tell me about you seem to have some kind of cool components here. Is this kind of par for the course?
So what we did this
They
year,
didn't send you a kit.
they did not send us a kit. We ended up ordering kits almost for our drivetrain, but a lot of teams do that, and we found that it is more economic and reliable than building our own drivetrain for this style of drivetrain. We also then, other than that, we have built the entire robot in-house. So this is our first year that we've made the entire robot in-house.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, we are able to make the robot in-house because I'm the head of the CAD department. We draw everything up in CAD or computer aided design on the computer, and then we can cut it out on our CNC, which we got last year thanks to our generous sponsors. So we can cut it out there, or we could 3D print it, and we can quickly prototype parts and make aluminum on the CNC, which is what most of the robot's made out of.
So you're really taking it from the ground up, and even I saw the 3D printer coming in. So you're fabricating some parts with the printer, and very cool. So would you say this is kind of a real-world simulation going on?
Yeah.
Especially the seniors, who sees yourselves going on to this kind of work in the future? Further studies, maybe in college. Do you see yourself following up in robotics, or would you stick with your specialty?
I'm not going straight into robotics, but definitely everything that I've learned over the 4 years will help me tremendously in college and when I go into the workforce, because it's not just electrical that I'm learning. I'm learning leadership, teamwork, management skills, leadership skills, and all of that is coming together that will help me in college no matter what I choose to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pressure of being in front of 35,000 people and watching your work out there run around. So very cool. How about you?
So I do a lot of business on the team. I do a lot of communication with our sponsors and other people and groups in our community. I'm in charge of being part of the parade. We've partnered with the Palmyra Musical. We've gone to Boy Scouting events, and I oversee most of that, which is important because we would need to make sure that people know who we are, who our team is, so that people are interested in joining our team and just learning more about us.
Absolutely. Everybody needs a PR section, right? And today it's as easy as a cell phone.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. What am I missing? So, again, do you see yourself following up with something? Where are you going to go? You're going into marketing? Do you see yourself going into something technical? Some combination of the two?
Currently, I'm undecided at the moment, but I have a lot of interest in business and communications, so I'm planning on doing something towards that field. And also, because I am really interested in STEM and robotics, I'm probably going to keep continuing on with that as well.
So I'm intrigued. The opportunities for a group like you, when I saw the sponsor list of this last competition, has got to be, it's encouraging to me. If I was a parent, you were one of my kids, and I knew that people in the stand are there representing Harvard University. Stopped me dead in my tracks when I hit that on the list. I said, you guys are in thin air, and to come in the second alliance, what a wonderful opportunity. So anybody getting letters from some of those sponsors saying, call us, because a recognition like this should take you a long way.
Yeah, so we actually do stay in contact with a lot of our sponsors. We actually do have a meeting with one of them coming up, but we like to stay in contact with them, tell them about how we've been doing, how their contributions to our team has been helping us, and we also provide recognition on the back of our t-shirts with our sponsor list, just because we are grateful for all that they do and for their ability to help make what we do on this team possible.
Absolutely. And it doesn't get much more real world than having sponsors and thanking them in this world, because they do make the wheels turn on an awful lot of things. Let's see, what else can you tell me about your time here?
We actually have a robot that we can show you. So the Palmyra Area High School.
It's Gary.
Yeah, so the Palmyra Area High School had a performance this year of SpongeBob the Musical, and they reached out to us seeing our work in STEM and asked us if we could build something that they could drive around on stage for Gary the Snail. So we built them a drive base that they are able to remote control from behind the scenes, and it was able to drive around the stage and perform with the cast and crew.
You know, I saw a post with that in. Very, very fun. You know, I'm such a fan of robotics, and I know you wouldn't know this, but it's when I see what's going on in the world. I'm a real estate broker, by the way, and have been in business for a long time. And when I see what's going on in the world, and one of the solutions is going to be little guys like this coming in and doing tasks. I just left a client this afternoon. They just added 2 robots to their team in a printing installation just to move the pallets and things autonomously. So you guys are on bleeding edge of what I think is probably going to be one of the next great revolutions in this country, from the industrial and technology, and now we'll go to the robotic, because the need is tremendous, and what a tremendous opportunity. So congratulations for joining in and playing along, and all your successes. I truly am thrilled with what you've been able to do. Let's take a minute and meet the guys behind the team that have really helped get this done. I'm going to start with you. Come on up here, sir. We'll let Gary be here in the middle.
Okay.
Tell me your name and how long. I understand you were one of the original members of the team here.
Well, I've been, my name's David Walker. I've been part of the team in different capacities for the whole 15 years we've been in existence. So the last 12 years as a lead mentor.
So were you the starter of this program?
No, I was not. George Keller started it with his son in their basement, and it's grown from there.
So how many members would you say you had then versus now?
We've always been relatively consistent. It's been up and down, but we're always looking for new members. We had 2 new kids show up tonight. We stuck a wrench in their hand, and they started building a new robot. So
That's terrific. So do you just represent the Palmyra area? Who would be invited to attend, and what's your process like?
We will take anyone that wants to show up. We don't care what school you go to, homeschool, private school, public school. We'll take anybody. So.
Oh, terrific. And they just need to be interested and show up.
They need to be interested and show up, and you know, like somebody said, you don't need to know what to do already. We'll teach you how to do it. So.
Well, sure, it's an emerging field, so who's going to know something? Yeah. But that's just a tremendous opportunity. And you meet a couple times a week.
Off season, we meet Tuesdays, Thursdays, sometimes Saturdays, depending on what's going on. As Joe said, during the build season, when we're trying to build something this complicated in 6 or 7 weeks, we will meet Monday through Thursday, usually Friday, every evening, and then pretty much all day on Saturday.
Wow. What a commitment, guys. That's worse than taking piano lessons.
This is a sport of the mind, so
sure.
This is no different than anybody who's playing a sport. You got to be dedicated. You got to be in it. You always got to be improving, trying to get better. So that's what we're all about. I mean, that's why we're a team. This isn't a club. We're definitely not a club. Okay, this is a team. We're all in it together, pulling for each other and helping each other out. So.
Yeah, well, that's obvious. You don't get success like this with one guy that is really good at something.
Well, you saw everybody has a different area of interest and focus, and it takes every one of us to pull together and work hard. And the kids do a great job. It's amazing how much trust they have and teamwork, and they work together to solve problems. It's really awesome to watch.
Well, I heard that in just a little conversation that was taking place while we were getting this perfectly aligned, so we could put it on video here.
You want to meet the rest of the guys?
Yeah, let's meet the rest of the team. Guys, come on up. Give us.
Sean's the programming mentor. He's a huge part of our success. Hello.
Hi, how you doing? Tell us who you are and what you do in this world.
Yeah, so I'm Sean Smith. I'm the programming mentor. I've been with the team for 4 years now. These are actually my seniors. We all started together. They're graduating, so it's very sad but happy.
So are you with one of the school districts? Are you with Palmyra?
No. I work for a safety company, but I'm a developer full-time. So I joined the team right when we needed a new programming mentor, and so that's where I really jumped in.
So you're the guy behind the guys that created the targeting system.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the targeting system, since this is the Innovation Award winner everywhere you go. I mean, don't get all technical on it.
Sure. Well, so, you know, like Joe said, they announced a new game, and when they announce the game, there's a couple things you can break with the first thing the team does. As a team, we break the game down into what we want to, achieve with the robot. Like, where do we think the robot would perform the best in a competition? How do we get ranking points that help us rank higher? How do we win matches? And so one of the things we identified really early in this particular game was that there's a large field and there's a lot of blind spots. And the balls, there's a limited number of balls with the 3 teams on each side. So we knew right away that we needed to have an advantage at getting balls, especially where we couldn't see well. And so we had actually 2 years ago started experimenting with machine learning, and we'd actually purchased Google Coral and Raspberry Pi, and so we were doing some experimenting before the season started, but it looked like a perfect opportunity to put that to work. I don't know if anybody else knows this, but there's a huge shortage on pretty much every kind of microprocessor right now. So we actually...
I've heard that about the car industry, so it's spilled into you too.
Yeah, so you cannot
terrible.
buy a Raspberry Pi brand new from really anybody right now. You have to buy them used. Google Coral, which we also had, went up to like $400 from like $130. So like it's really hard. So we happened to be lucky that we were preparing for this, and so we started right away early in the season. Programming, while the robot's being built, the programmers are usually trying to figure out what to do with ourselves while the robot's being built. We assist with building the robot, but we're usually working more on how we're going to play the game. So that was our opportunity to work on that problem, and that's what we did. So we experimented a lot. We actually took a drive base that we had extra from the previous season and just started moving it around, trying to target balls, and worked from there up. And that's really what our team does, I think, probably better than any other team, is that we improve over the season. We start strong, but we get even better as the season progresses. And that's really something I think that all the mentors push for.
Yeah, always be learning.
Yeah.
You should always be growing.
Yeah.
Even when you don't win, what can we learn from today? Because you can always go back and tweak it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, one thing we didn't talk about is scouting. So there's a very critical part of our game in that when we go to competitions, we have a robot that plays the game. We know how we want to play. But as we're going throughout that competition and qualifying, we have to figure out who we want to partner with. We have to figure out how to play against other teams. So part of our team actually watches every match, counts every score for every individual robot. We have an app that was developed within the team that allows them to do it on a mobile device, and then put all that data together and analyze it to figure out who we want to play with, how we're going to play matches. So really takes high school sports to a whole new level. And the analytics that we do, and Wyatt was our head scout this year. So
how many people does it take to track, 6 units at one time and know which one is getting the shot off?
It's 1 person per robot.
There you go, because I was trying to watch any of the tournament matches, and you've got this shower of balls, and on the stream I couldn't see any of the unit numbers. So
with even just 1 person per robot, it's really difficult. You really have to concentrate.
Yeah, they were
If
raining
you don't have
down.
the concentration, you're going to lose balls, and then you have to go back and watch it again on the live stream. It's very difficult.
Yeah, so would you say you're picking up a lot of practical experience here?
Yes.
Like, like I said, you're out there bleeding edge. This is very cool. Well, thank you, sir. Send me someone else. Who do we have else that's working with this team?
How you doing? My name's Todd Everly. I'm one of the mechanical mentors. And like Joe said, the new game gets announced in January, and we get it built from the ground up. So help the kids as far as designing an intake or whatever needs to be designed, and help them put it together. And
So what do you do in your real life?
I actually am a quality control, concrete, and
so this is just a thing for you.
This thing, I love it. I get involved because of my son.
Well, I can
Tori.
see you're excited about
I
it.
am, and my son Tori, he's not here. He's at work, but he's a mentor now. Also, he was on the team for 4 years, and I got into it from him basically, and now I can't get enough of it.
Well, I'm a big BattleBots fan myself, and so I've been watching robots for years. Then I was told, well, this is a little different. I think they need to add an element like that. If you could flip the competition while you're going for balls.
People I talk to think that's what it is. I'm like, no, we're not out to damage the other robots. We're working together to obtain our balls or whatever the task might be.
So is this like bumper cars? Must you avoid the other robots? Is there points against you if you're...
There's certain things that you cannot do. You cannot pin another robot for so many seconds, and you get a foul for that. But for the most part, it's pretty much all out. I mean, there's some defense being played.
Well, I was going to say, what's the strategy? Is defensive or offensive? Is one better than the other? Especially since you have an alliance.
We usually have somebody playing defense.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, that would make sense.
But not all the time. Like in our qualification matches, it's quite often when it gets to the playoffs, then it gets a little bit rougher as far as defensive play comes into and a lot as far as.
It looked like there was a lot of bumping going on.
There is. I mean, some tend to be more harsher than others, I'd say. That's put the nice way. But I mean, we're all out there to have a good time, and I mean, I'm so proud of all these kids. I mean, it's like,
yeah, it's quite an accomplishment.
And to be part of the team. And I got to point to Rena, because Rena didn't say about what her job is, which is coach.
Yeah, so in addition to business on the team during like competitions, I am the coach for the team. My job is to kind of build relationships, communicate with the other teams, get to know them, get to know their robot, their strengths and weaknesses, so that we are able to.
Oh my gosh, you have a spy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. It helps because I'm small. I can just kind of like sneak around. No one notices me. I get a lot of short jokes on this team. He's shorter, luckily. But yeah, so one thing is kind of, since a big part of the team competition is building alliances and building a team of 3 individual teams from all over, a big thing is knowing what is a robot like, being able to scout them so we know the characteristics and how they play, and how can we best work with our team with our strengths and weaknesses to kind of counter the strengths and weaknesses of the opposing alliance, so that we can kind of do as best as we can. During a match, I'm behind the alliance station wall with the driver and operator, and I'm watching the whole field, asking myself, where are there places that we can get balls? What should we be doing? What can get us that little edge on the competition, and what can we do that will allow us to do well in the competition and keep going and advancing?
Oh, terrific. Yeah. Well, you need all those roles. Absolutely. So I had asked Joe, because I was watching the competition, how important is it for the robot to store itself at the end?
So that is endgame. There are 3 sections of a match. The autonomous period, where robots are pre-programmed, they know what they are supposed to do, and they just perform what we've already instructed them to do, which kind of goes back to what you were saying about the guy that just got 2 new robots to kind of do things autonomously. That's a really good application and practice of autonomy. Then we have the teleoperated period, where the driver and operator then control the robot. They are the ones that are scoring points. And then in the last 30 seconds of the match, that is called endgame, where the robots can go climb on the hanger, and based on whichever bar they land on, that's the amount of points that they get. And if you get a certain number of points, if you get 16 points, you get a ranking point, which ranking points are kind of outside of just the match points, where however many ranking points you get and your average between all of your matches will rank you in the overall competition. And that's how you get your top alliance, your second alliance, and third alliance based on how well they performed in the qualifying matches. So the end game is pretty important, because when you get into the harder competitions like Worlds or District Champions, having every single ranking point counts and can make it between being the top alliance and the 3rd and 4th.
You have such a great grip on the whole thing, and like I said, I've enjoyed watching it. Didn't realize there was all this strategy going on in the background. It makes it even cooler. We've got more special guests here, the mentor list. How many mentors do you have? About 8 people?
Yeah, he's about 7 or 8, yeah.
In that ballpark, yeah.
Okay,
So-
what's left? What could you possibly be doing? You designed Gary?
I helped.
Okay.
But no, I'm here as a student mentor. I'm an alumni of the team. I was here for 4 years.
Tell me your name, please.
Ezra Smith. I'm a mechanical engineering student at York College right now.
Oh, terrific.
And that kind of ties
Oh,
into
how
why-
cool is this for you?
So this kind of ties into, why I'm here and why I was here, is that this whole team kind of ignited my passion for engineering as a whole and, making things. So it was an excellent place for me to learn what this entailed. Like, I was able to learn from people who are in the industry.
Were you
presently.
in this team before? And then you went on to college? Okay, now I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Sorry, I should have made that.
No, it's
But,
okay.
Yeah. So, and now I'm coming back to the team because it's something, since, it was such a beneficial thing for me, where working on this team, seeing a project from start to finish, seeing, like the details of the project, some folks, they go into engineering, they don't really have that idea, but getting to see, like, this is how you actually have to make that part, it allows me to design better as an engineer then. And also, the whole thing is so exciting, it just, makes you want to work on stuff more and learn how to solve a problem better,
Yeah, I would agree. It's very cool.
And being able to be a source of inspiration for the next generation is, and try and help them get to that point and teach
Okay,
them
you're not
what
that
I
far
can.
ahead. Come on.
Well, next people a couple years
Yeah,
behind.
no, absolutely, absolutely. That's actually, why I do the things I do. I just think it's wonderful to be able to give you some recognition. We've got world-class stuff going on around us here in Lebanon County, and I'm always glad to bring it to everyone's attention because you guys run under the radar because we have all these small things happening, but what a great opportunity, and probably a great opportunity for you too, being attached to this group.
Absolutely. And like I said, it just really is something that gets you introduced to the concept and it gets you experience before you actually go into, deciding I want to do this. It can kind of guide you.
It might open a door or two for this group. Yeah.
All right. So
Thank you very much.
absolutely.
Good evening. My name is Troy Kenny. I'm the sponsor from Comcast. I've been with the team about 8 years, so this is a big step from where we were 8 years ago when I was with Dave. The one thing I want to do is try to thank all of our sponsors, because without our sponsors, we wouldn't have the opportunity to build this. We wouldn't have any of the funds to continue on the good work we're doing with the kids. So,
Well, thank you to you and
Yeah.
Comcast. That's
Absolutely,
wonderful.
so-
Now, do you also volunteer here
Yes.
and work with them?
I have been with the team most days for the last 8 years.
Is that right?
That's right. So, I mean, try to keep the
You
fun
guys should
going.
have really good Wi-Fi then.
Yeah. We do. So that's the big thing that I like to talk about is sponsorship. Always need additional sponsors. You can give a little, give a lot. Just come down and visit us and try to help us out.
So, would Comcast have an empty garage anywhere?
I've looked.
Just,
but
I've heard that they might need some space.
I actually work in the York office, so that'd be a little bit of a ride for everybody. So, but I will keep my ear to the ground. So,
Well, I think they have an empty building sitting around
I've
somewhere.
got
that
several, but
might not be right where you want to be, but we're on this.
so the other
Just
thing
don't want
that I
them
work-
to become homeless.
Only thing I work with the team is on safety, because that's very important, and Rena's been a big part of safety for the last couple of years. So she's been all over the planet with this team. So she's won several safety awards, and we have a good track record.
What is it with you? Why were you going to hide under the
Hi,
table? You
yes,
do
I
all.
also do
Two-time
She-
state award winner, back to back.
Yep.
She's the connector. She's the front person, and she was the one I found under the desk.
Yep, see?
So out of
What?
this group,
Come
we
on.
have here, someone's got to jump in and do safety, do mechanical, do electrical. So throughout the off season, let's try to all get together and learn on the next person's job. So, all right, I'm good.
Well, thank you, and this is a twofer. You bring funding with Comcast, and then you show up.
Yes, I do.
Nicely done. Are we missing anybody? So, I've been working on this opportunity for about 2 years to get connected with this group, and finally, when you hit the world championship, then I thought it was a lot easier to get in front of Joe and the rest of you for some reason. I guess it's, you got all this stuff to hide behind. But just on a final note, what a future. You know, I looked at this, I looked at the sponsor list. What a great opportunity, what a great technology, and a great experience. And this is going on, just like you just heard, it does take sponsors. And so I'm sure that the group would be open to talk to anybody that wanted to show up with money. But we're also trying to help them find a new home, because they're going to be moving out of this space sometime soon. Is it at the end of the season?
Well, in the next few weeks.
In the next few weeks. So stay tuned. We're going to have a plea for some space. If you've got a commercial space, or we'll get the specs to you, because if you saw this game, it had some pretty good space requirements. And one of the advantages they tell me is they had the ability to set up the whole field, run the game, and they finished in the second alliance. So there's a lot of method to the madness around here. So if you've got a space, a large garage, small warehouse, I know there's a lot of empty stuff sitting around out there in the Hershey-Palmyra area. That's the preferred space, and we'll get back to you with some specs. But hope you've enjoyed this. What a class act, and what a great group of people, great mentors. Thank you guys, everybody, for your support of this. And I'm just thrilled that I was able to get here and meet you all. What's that cheer? 25? 39! And then with the big finish, 25? 39! There we are. Thanks, everybody, and congratulations so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure meeting you all. Great job. Thank you, everybody, for speaking up, and congratulations.